Okay, so have you ever wanted to take text and like combine it in really specific ways and not just like stick it together end to end, but really control how those pieces come together?
Right.
Where that's what we're going to deep dive into today.
Okay.
And it's all about a specific function in Power Query called Combiner.CombineTextByRanges.
Interesting.
So just from the name, you can tell it's got to do with text, right?
Right.
And combining it, but it sounds like it's got some extra power in there somewhere. So what is it that's so special about this particular function?
Well, the interesting thing about Combiner.CombineTextByRanges is the level of control it gives you.
Okay.
When you're trying to combine text from different sources,
right,
you're not just stuck with basic, like you said, just putting things end to end.
Right, like just concatenating.
Exactly. It's not just like, text 1 and text 2 smushed together.
Right.
This lets you be very, very specific about which parts of each text you want to combine.
Okay, so you're saying I could have like a column of first names, a column of last names, and I could say, just give me the first 3 letters of the first name and the last 2 letters of the last name and put those together.
You got it.
Interesting. Okay, so that's where the ranges part comes in.
Exactly.
So can you explain a little bit more about what exactly a range is in this context?
So a range is basically a set of instructions that tells the function what part of the text value to use.
Okay.
It defines the starting point and how many characters you want to extract.
Okay.
So for example, if you wanted the first 3 letters of a word, your range would start at position 1 and have a length of 3.
Got it.
It's that simple.
Okay.
It's like telling the function, hey, start here and grab this many characters.
So I had a longer text, like a whole sentence.
Yes.
And I said, start at the second space and go for 10 characters.
Right.
It would find that second space, count 10 characters, and give me that chunk of text. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Now, what's even more interesting is that you can also use an optional template parameter with this function.
Ooh, templates. That's where things get even more powerful.
I do.
So in my mind, a template is kind of like one of those Mad Libs games.
Yeah, like fill in the blanks.
Yeah, you have the basic structure. You just kind of slot things in.
That's a great analogy.
So how does that work with text?
So the template in Combiner.CombineTextByRanges acts like a blueprint for your final output.
Okay.
You can predefine fixed text separators anything you want, and then the function will insert the combined text based on the ranges you've specified.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this.
Sure.
If I have a template that says, quote, customer name, space, then I could use Combiner.CombineTextByRanges to pull in the first name and last name from different columns, and it would slot them into that template. So the final result would be, quote, customer name, space, and then the actual first and last name.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a really powerful way to control the formatting and the structure of your combined text.
It is.
Now, one thing that might trip people up is what happens if you don't specify a length for a range.
Okay. Yeah, what does it do? Just take the whole thing?
Well, that's where the concept of null length comes in.
Null length.
If you set the length of a range to null, it means grab everything from the starting point onward.
So it's kind of like a wild card.
Exactly.
Just take it all.
Yep. It's like saying, hey, start here and just keep going until you hit the end of the text.
Okay, so we've got ranges, templates, null lengths. This is starting to feel like we could build some really complex text combinations with this.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You have so much flexibility to create exactly what you need.
Right. And you were saying earlier about data mashups.
Yes.
So how does this all tie into that?
Well, imagine you have data coming from all sorts of different places.
Okay.
Spreadsheets, databases, you name it. And you need to combine it in a very specific way, maybe to create unique identifiers or to generate custom reports. Combiner.CombineTextByRanges is your secret weapon.
Oh, that's interesting.
It lets you pull those disparate pieces of text together and assemble them into a cohesive, meaningful output.
So I could pull like an address from one place,
yes,
a customer ID from another, and then combine them into a single field that's, like you said, a unique identifier.
Exactly.
Wow.
The possibilities are really endless.
They are. And it makes you wonder what other gems are hidden within Power Query.
Oh, there are many more.
Just waiting for us to uncover.
Sure.
So I think it's time for us to roll up our sleeves, fire up Power Query, and start experimenting with this Combiner.CombineTextByRanges.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And happy data mashing, everyone.
Happy mashing.